Can't handle the heat. Booyaka Shot, welcome back to the episode of Can't Handle the Heat. We got a late one here. For those of our followers who know about the Late podcast, they know it gets weird, they know it gets funny, they know it gets fun, and let's get freaky out here. It's your boy G Swizz, the sex symbol of Out of System, joined by, to my left here, Joey, the big CEO. Hit it, Joey!
Right here, baby. I'm here, fueled by Dr. Price's electrolytes.
We couldn't.
Big shout out to our sponsor
Is that
and
what
our
the
big
inhaler?
partner, Dr. Price Electrolyte Mix. I just hit that. That's what it straight through my brain. Fueled me. We're gonna get into this past weekend. We use this. There's one match I didn't use it, and I paid the price for it. I'll tell you that if you guys are watching. Super hydration formula. This stuff is the real shiza. Okay. This tropical mix is my favorite. I mix this with lemon lime sometimes, a little
What else you
mixture,
mix
a
it
little
with?
blend. I mix it with all kinds of things. A little ooze juice.
Little ooze juice.
Little ooze juice.
Love that. Fire
Love
for
it.
you.
I love that for you.
And of course, here we got, through the cyber networking of thank God for internet age, Hawaii's chosen child, Micah Ma. Micah, man. Always happy to have you on, brother. Cruising, bro. How about yourself?
You're on one today. That's for sure.
Hey, it's late night, baby. It's late night. Late night Gage. That's when it gets free. Let's get weird here. Let's get weird. Let's get freaky. So this is when we usually talk about Shino news. Unfortunately, can we have a moment of silence for Shino? 5 seconds. Can we bow our heads? Thank you. Shano will not be joining us today. I don't know where he is. Probably on 21st Street getting hammered. I don't know what he's doing. He's just having a good time. Maybe he's teaching the cakeys down
He
at
was with
Manhattan
Hav
Beach.
down at his swimming lessons.
What?
He and Hav have swimming lessons together.
They don't know how to swim? Are you serious?
Tim Hovland and him.
What?
They don't know how to swim?
No.
This just in. Shano doesn't know how to swim.
They apparently would swim
Can you
laps together.
explain that?
Oh.
Tim Hovland, legendary beach volleyball player in the U.S., partners with Mike Dodd. Was all summer we live in the community with them, and all summer all they would do is talk about how they would swim together at the lap pool at one of the local private clubs, and so everybody joked around that they had swim lessons together.
Why don't they just swim in the ocean?
And I'm in the chat still, the group chat with the whole group from the South Bay, and all they talk about is swim lessons all the time. So,
Well, more power to him. More power to him. With that, like I said, we may not have Shano, but we still have Shano news. And with that, I'm gonna be honest, guys. I'm gonna confess something about Out of System. There are times where we do a horrendous job of covering the women's volleyball side, like the world championships and stuff, and that's on me because I take full blame for that. Moment of silence for Gage. 5 seconds, please. Okay, thank you, Micah. Thank you for bowing your head. I'm really feeling that. Actually, before we get into that, we should really quickly recap our week or weekend. We had games. Micah had games with cows. Remind me, back in Bulgaria. Thank you for that. For us, we went 1-2 on the weekend. After the first match, we played all our starters. Then we didn't play all our starters. It was kind of, I don't know. We were just kind of testing new stuff out. So if we had our starters, I feel confident and everything like that. We're looking good. We're still very young. Still a lot of stuff to work out on. Joe, anything you have to add to that?
nothing much. I think a lot of people actually watched from Out of System.
Yeah.
Like, Out of System
Thank you guys so
Sports
much for
watched.
watching.
So big shout out. But yeah, we played a lot of familiar faces this weekend. It's really cool. Big shout out, first of all, to Bounce House and Spawn Tent. Put on an amazing event in the Bundesliga. Really cool event, and everybody's hoping that they continue that for future years. I think overall is really, really good feedback.
Shout out to Bounce House.
Yeah, Bounce House does an incredible job for volleyball.
They seem like
and they
they're
do
doing
like
good, yeah.
they have weekly show. Like every day there's a show, like a lot and everything. They do a really cool job. Some people have different mixed feelings about it. I think it's great for the sport, even though sometimes they maybe cross the lines on the get into people's personal lives. But I think it's overall pretty cool to see.
Wait, what?
You don't see that in the
What's happened in the
dating,
past?
their sexual, everything. Bro.
Oh yeah. They
Look into
get
it.
into everybody's like past and everything. They dig deep into people.
Dating profiles.
Really?
We'll pull it up.
Oh,
we'll
yeah.
find it up.
Oh yeah.
What?
They love
I had
Gage's
no
Instagram.
idea.
They love Gage's Instagram.
It's a walking meme.
But in terms of the weekend, yeah, it was awesome. I think we were up and down. We're a young team, and so I think it was pretty clear though the style that we have to play, because we always talk about that, especially with us. Like, what do we have to play? What are we going to be able to do? What are we not going to be able to do? I think it became pretty clear what we have to get better at in certain
What's that,
areas.
Joe? Really quick recap.
I think it's pretty obvious from what we've done in practice with block defense. Just block defense. It's so important because what people don't understand, professional volleyball, Milan Zarkovic, our assistant at Hawaii, he was adamant, and he always told me this. He's like, the best middle blockers, they're not good. It doesn't matter how they one-on-one, yeah, you'll make plays here and there. The best middle blockers in medium situations, high ball situations, when it's clear, everybody knows the ball is going through you, and that's when you have to be like, that's when you block balls. That's when you like, and he trained our middles at Hawaii, Pat Gassman, Dalton Solberg. They were all pretty legit at that. And I think even after I left, the middles, you watch them, it's like in the clear situations where you know where the ball's going, you have to be good, still, straight, and the ball can't pass through you. And that for us was a weakness. All of our blockers, our front court blockers, are just so much block out on our side of that, and that's just not going to be. And Lunenburg in general, the club that we play for, is historically known for, and Stefan as a coach, historically known to be one of the best blocking teams. So I'm not super concerned about it. We work a lot on it. We've done a lot of work this week on it already, and I think that's going to continue. We'll see how that progresses. So if you guys are watching our team, be on the lookout for that, because that's what we're doing a lot of work on.
The kitty purrs. Micah, update us. Talk dirty. Talk nice to me.
So we had a away game. We actually played 2 games. We played one Saturday at home. We played against a team, Devily. Went well. Won 3-0. And then went on an away trip, actually a really sick trip, to someplace in the east. I'm not exactly sure what it's called. The team that we played is Tursad. But flew like an hour out of Ankara to the east, and then took like an hour bus ride to the hotel. And then the hotel was like an hour 15 away from the match. And it's this huge lake. It's this huge lake that we're on. It's like really, it's actually a really cool place. It's like the biggest mineral lake, like volcanic lake in Turkey or something. I don't know. It's huge. It's huge. And then like right next to the lake, there's like farmland, and it was really sick. I was like, this is a pretty sweet spot. Not a lot of people. And then, yeah, if you guys saw on my Instagram story, we had some traffic on the way. Like, we were just starting to go really slow. And I was playing games, so we were playing a game called Truco. It's an Argentinian card game. Shout out to anyone from Argentina that listens. I was playing it in the back of the bus, and all of a sudden they're like, dude, Michael, look at why we're going so slow. And the place is just packed with cows. So I was right by the gym, and then got to the gym, and this place, first away trip lived up to the hype. The crowd was insane. Like, not a ton of people. The gym wasn't that big, but the acoustics in there like had a huge echo. Like, if you're yelling in there, you can hear it, and it was packed to the brim and freaking loud. And these guys are whistling, and like when we were on the bench, we had to move from the bench to the court, and like had to talk at the court because we couldn't hear. Like, and like you're just like your ears are ringing. You're like, oh, I can't hear nothing. So it was a really fun experience. They played super well. I have a feeling that they're going to take a lot of points from people going there and visiting there because it's just a tough environment. Like I said, the travel is not as clean. But we won 3-1. Not the prettiest volleyball.
Win.
Also, it makes me think of something really quickly on a tangent here. I think if you're building a volleyball gym, you should probably consult with a volleyball player. Because I've seen so many new gyms now have like huge flaws where you're like, what? How did you put this much money into something and not like design it for the thing that it's supposed to be doing? I don't know if you guys have ran into the same thing, but this gym was first off like concrete, and then on top of it's the Terraflex, which is fine. If you can't like have wood, that's fine. But the lights were super strong and only on one side. So we actually won the coin toss and changed sides because as the setter, or like you can't see the lights are super strong and coming straight at. I lost the ball 100 times. And it's just like, why would you not consult with someone that's like, hey, I have an idea. Like, why don't we put lighting's pretty important for volleyball. Why don't we pay attention to that?
That happens a lot.
That's a rant, but yeah, it happens way too often.
There's a lot of new
gyms. New gyms. Like, I'm not going to ask you to change like an old gym. For sure, I get it. It is what it is. And I actually like that sometimes. Like, it adds some character. But if you just built a brand new gym and you didn't take the time to like try and make it like sport oriented, and you know it's sport oriented, then it just seems like we're missing a step here.
Yeah. Well, that's all politics too. It's like they just don't even think about that. So many people make decisions in sports that have no idea. People making decisions on stuff
That's fair.
have no idea about the sport.
That's fair.
They were talking about the other day, even on the NFL, the whole CTE thing, especially now with a lot of stuff that's popped up with like Cameron Brate and then Tua, obviously. The NFL has spotters at every single game, both on the field, and they have up at the top of the stadium with like binoculars to spot when somebody gets hit in the head. They pull them, and they have to get evaluated by an independent doctor on the sideline. And they're saying, like, the argument at first, because people didn't have any idea like who these people were, but they came to find out that they are like retired athletic trainers typically. But there was like this rumor going around that it's just random like doctors and stuff, people who never were in football, so they have no idea even what to be looking for. But for the most part, most of them have. I think they have to have some experience in football. I don't think it's a requirement, but typically
that's
they
pretty
do.
nice.
Yeah, even though it isn't like a requirement that they had to be in football, they typically do. They said so. I think that's important. Like they have to like know the sport to be able like and those, because that's a job. Literally, you could take the best player out of the game. Like if they say he has to be out of the game, they have to come out of the game in a really important game. Take the starting quarterback out. And so these people really have to understand what they're doing because they're dealing with millions of dollars on the line.
And so many players. How many workers do you have?
Well, you just watch what's on the field. You're not watching the bench. Like,
Yeah, but there's still a lot going on.
they have a lot. They have people on the sideline and up above. So,
with that being said, Joe, let's get into the Shino news.
oh, Shino news.
World Championships. Let's get into
Hashtag
it.
Shano. Yeah, Women's World
Shano.
Championships going on right now. We're speaking to you guys Thursday. So if you guys are giving us crap for not being up to date on something that happened on Friday, this is Thursday. There's currently
Come at us, bro.
There's currently China, Netherlands is going on right now. China's up 2-1. Huge matchup there. It's pretty interesting though, because women's World Championship still uses the old format where there's 2 pool play groups. They go first and second round of pool play and then a bracket play, where men just went 1 pool play and then a round of 16, and you went from there. So they're in their second round of pool play currently right now. 2 big groups. Top 4 teams from each group get out, and then into an 8-team bracket. USA lost last night 3-0 to Poland in Poland, which is interesting. Poland's not they have one of the top setters in the world, but besides that, typically not within usually one of the top teams competing for medals in any type of major international competition. So that was interesting. Of course, playing in Poland's super difficult. And I think our women, you can tell they're a little bit tired, a little bit fatigued. But they're also playing with a couple new players in certain roles, and they're missing players from their gold medal team last summer. So with that being said, like Ali Franti playing on the outside, she's a Penn State alum. She was a stud there all 4 years. You have...
Bro, when I was doing this USA stuff at the end of summer, I was just talking to her. I had no idea who she was. Usually I know like every single person in there. I was like, is this girl a manager? 'Cause she's not dressed out or something like this. She wasn't dressed out. She wasn't anything like that. And I'm like, oh, where'd you go to school? And she's like, guess. I was like, I don't know. And eventually I got down to Penn State. And then I gave her like,
Where
all
were
the
you?
clues to
Where were you
Hawaii.
talking to her?
The USA.
I don't know, but like where?
Lunch.
Oh, lunch.
It was me and Mason. We were talking. I'm like, oh. And then I saw her on the TV. I'm like, oh, let's go play some volleyball. Nice.
She can play.
She's got potential. And that's a lot. You know, you should really take that seriously coming from moi, you know. Sorry, Joe. Keep the updates coming. Sorry, I just had to say that.
Sorry, I
Oh, there's a cat. There's a cat. Anyone just see that?
Cat's got the zoomies.
Oh. You ever seen that Leonardo DiCaprio? I mean, whistle. Or, you know.
There's a cat.
Cat.
Finishing the update though from the World Championship currently, you have in the first group currently Italy in first, Brazil in second, China in third, and Belgium in fourth. And those would be the 4 teams going through as of today. Again, China's up about probably going to take 3 points, it looks like right now, which would move them into second place ahead of Brazil. In the other pool, you have Serbia, Turkey, and USA and Poland currently in positions to move on, but it is a close race for that last sort of spot. Canada fighting there. Shout out Emily Maglio, E-Mags, go Bows. But USA, they're sitting right now in the third position. So they're still okay. Definitely, they have to play Turkey still. And they still
Turkey A, Joe. Turkey A.
Turkey A. I'm sorry. And they still have to play Thailand, who has been difficult to beat all tournament. So 2 tough matches for the U.S. to finish off the group. They're going to have to win. They're not through quite yet. So they'll have to be ready to go here.
Question. Intellectual question, actually.
Okay.
If you're from Thailand, are you Thai or is it Taiwanese?
My best guess is that you're Thai from
Yeah,
Thailand.
wait,
And
Taiwanese would be
Taiwanese
from
is
Taiwan.
Taiwan.
Ooh,
Correct.
rough. That's not gonna make me look smart. But you're Thai. I'm Thai. Like, what are you? I'm Thai. You know what I'm saying? I've never heard that, have I?
You're from Thailand.
You know what I'm saying?
And you're Thai.
Cage. That's not going to make me look too good.
I'm Landian. Just get the Thai part. I'm Oceanic, actually. Joe, thank you for the update. Always a pleasure. Again, 5 seconds for Shino for no Shino news. Maybe bow. Thanks for bowing, Joe. Always a pleasure. Thank you, though, Micah, for taking the bow. Let's get into it. Overseas Shiza, presented by. Hit it, Joe.
Dr. Price's Electrolytes, the best electrolyte out there on the market. You can get it on Amazon, out of system, for 20% off.
20, baby.
20% off.
Not 10.
A lot of people have been using this recently. A lot of people have been happy, and a lot of people have been hydrated
Electrolyted.
with that super hydration formula. It's our favorite. It's our favorite flavor, tropical. Like I said, put it in just about anything.
Also, I want to say that we are trained professionals, so if you inhale it like Joe just did in that first opening shot, we are trained professionals. Please do not do this at home. Drink it responsibly, because with great power comes great responsibility. Micah, overseas Shiza, get after it, buddy.
All right, overseas Shiza. Now, the first thing that came to mind today was actually food. Culinary experience of the world.
Culinary experience.
And so I'm gonna talk about my top 3 things that I've had overseas.
Oh, talk nice to me.
One of them is a sentimental thing, and that is a tartelette fraise.
What?
No. Yes, tartelette fraise. It's a French pastry that every day after weights, I would get it no matter what. And actually, on days that like we had off, Sunday, it's the only place I would go. Like a lot of times Sundays, I'm like, no. Actually, I'd play pickup basketball on Sundays, at the park. But
Much to your club's demise.
Club love that.
yeah, they didn't know that actually. But I would drive like 10, 15 minutes just to this one place to get a tartelette fraise. It's basically like this like small round pie. It's like got the normal pie crust, got like a nice cream and some strawberries and a little like honey. It's amazing.
Look at him. He can taste it. Look at
And I'm not a food guy. I'm not a huge, but I'm actually slowly becoming a food guy, which is nice.
You have to when you travel, bro.
Yeah. Also, we're just maturing, and now I'm being able to understand like there's levels to this. You know, before it was like hamburgers.
There's levels to this.
That's like one of our models.
And like steak's a steak, and now you can really like, you know, you can taste the quality. So that's my number one, because that's just something that I just remember so vividly. Number 2 is chug kebab. I hope I'm saying that correct.
Chug kebab.
Incredible. We went the other day with our athletic trainer, and we were supposed to go with someone else from Turkey, and they looked it up and was like, and they're like, this is way too far. So we drove we live in a pretty big city. We drove like 25 minutes out of the city, and we're like, what are we doing here? But the further we drove, we're like, the better this place must be, because if we're coming this far, it must be unbelievable. I think it's like, it was this huge piece of meat that they're cooking on a fire. It looked like a family was doing this. And they're slicing like the tiniest slices off this huge meat, and they run a skewer through it, and it's just all you can eat. and it's that, some bread, and like some sauces, and that's it. And they only serve that. Like the second you sit down, they just start bringing it. I think it's lamb.
Yeah.
But
If it's
unbelievable.
kebab, yeah, it's lamb.
It was unbelievable. So
it's like
that's
a
my number 2.
So it's like a kebab with thin piece of meat, bread, and sauce.
Yeah, but dude, I'm telling you, it's not.
I believe you. Hey, I believe you, brother.
It's not. It's not just that.
Sounds like pigwitch.
Anyways.
Hey, mess around.
Oh. And 3, pigwitch, dude.
Yeah, and number 1.
The true number 1. Frick. Pigwitch is legit. Shout out to Kansas City. Shout out to Coach Reed, Andy Reed, with the hookups.
Shout out to Coach Andy Reed for
Good
showing
guy.
us
He's
that.
a good guy.
And triple
good guy.
D's.
Yeah. And then number 3 actually is pretty simple. It's a French baguette from a place called Grand Frais that I used to grocery shop at. And me and Zana would get 2 baguettes, and we would drive 15 minutes home. And 2 times we arrived home and had eaten both baguettes and turned around and went back to the store. That's how good they were. There's just something about the water, something about, I don't know what they're doing. I don't know
Special
how
water.
it's possible.
What are you from New York?
No, but the New York bagel is about the water. I'm guessing it's something to do with, I don't know what it is, because no one else is making baguettes like that. No one else.
He's dirty
So-
water.
This dirty.
Those are my 3. If you guys are in France and you guys see a tartelette fraise, get it.
What
Think
the?
of me.
And it's literally just it's like a normal French,
Pastry.
flawless baguette.
Yeah, dude. Right out the oven. Woo. I'm telling you, dude, the bread is just unreal.
I believe that.
Which I don't
I
get
believe
how
that.
it could be that much better than other people's bread.
I think it was
but
you who
it
told
is.
me the bread and the cheese are just next level in France.
Yeah, they are pretty good. They're pretty good.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome.
I'll
Well,
give 'em
thank you
that.
for the overseas shiza. Always, I like how we all throw a kind of twist on the overseas shiza. I just kind of crap on Eastern Europe. Joe kind of comes with a lot more experience. Talks about a lot about coaching a lot of the time and all of this other high level stuff like that. Still very funny stories. Micah comes in with a little more optimistic mindset. Like
Cultural.
for example, cultural. Thank you very much. I like what we're doing here. Get the yin yang. I don't know, chi going on. You know what I'm saying? I like the energy that's flowing around this place right now. I'm feeling it. Late night podcast too while we're at it. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into our next and last and final segment here. Let's get into for the last 2 podcasts we've been doing top 10. People like on TikTok. Also, if you're not following us on TikTok, what are you doing, man? Our TikTok, we're going to be TikTok famous, okay? So make sure you go on TikTok. Make sure you follow us. It's not just pod clips, right? So if you're like, the podcast like 30, 40 minutes, 50 minutes, I just want to, watch like a 60-second or less video. Bam, there you go. All the best stuff's also on TikTok. And sick-ass volleyball content, we provide it. Follow us on
Because
TikTok.
what are we trying to become?
TikTok famous. Thank you, Joe. That was really
The longer
inspiring.
this podcast has gone, the lower you've gotten in your chair.
I know. I've realized that. I've intentionally done that.
Like
By the end
I
of it,
see that
I'm gonna be
you're
on my
slowly
ass.
disappearing from my screen.
This is like Wedding Crashers, Will Ferrell.
No, Joe did that. When we did our test run, Joe had this on. He has a green robe. I tried to get him to wear it, but he wouldn't wear it because he's wearing that oof, mad respect. And he did it. And I have the video of it. It's awesome. Anyway, let's talk about it. Micah, you brought it up. You want to talk about the top 3 countries of all time, volleyball-wise. Now, what are we going to take into account? Yes, we can take into our recency bias is a thing, but we're not going to let us affect us intellectuals. Take one look at us. You can see there's 3 intellectuals around the I don't know, the podcast right now. As I say that, I'm going to stoop one further because I'm a man of my word. Now, with that, can you even see me, Micah?
Yeah, I can.
All right, so awesome. With that being said, we got to take into culture. We got to take into history. And obviously now it plays a big role because if it's dead right now, like I said, recency bias does play a role. With that being said, Micah, the man of the hour, Hawaii's chosen son, hit it off, buddy.
Okay, so number 1, I do have to say Italy. I think obviously the league has been the strongest for a while. The school of volleyball in Italy is like really strong. A lot of coaches are really well known and are going around and coaching a lot. The culture, the fans, the history, it's been an amazing league since Karch was going there and even before probably. So my number 1's Italy, and they just won the World Championships. They got a good young team, so they're going to be pretty scary for a while. Number 2 for me is Brazil. The league right now, I don't hear as much about
Shambles.
it. I don't know if I think it's an economy kind of thing. But they've just always had so many amazing players. They've changed the game with that class of Giba, Dante, Ricardo. That whole era was just one of the strongest eras, I think, of a national team that we've seen. It's just that team was so amazing and so sick. So I think Brazil is second. And gosh, I want to put Poland as an honorable mention because they're just right now they're killing the game. And it's just like if they can continue this for a few more years, they're going to be in the top 3 for sure. It's just that.
Just on the men's side, though. Besides
on the men's side,
men's indoor, they're good in other areas, but they're not like.
Yeah, on the men's side, I think that but it's special. It's becoming pretty special. So
that's an honorable mention.
That's an honorable mention, and it was between them and I think USA. I think just because of the history.
USA created volleyball, so
Where, Joe?
That's true.
Massachusetts.
Bingo. Where though?
Same
Where? Why were they created?
YMCA. Same
Springfield.
YMCA as Naismith, who created basketball. Did you
You
know
guys
that?
know?
Yeah.
Same
Yes.
YMCA.
Yeah.
I think I learned that on some other podcast.
Do you know why though? You know why they created it?
Because they were lazy and they didn't want to move.
Yeah, they were fat.
They were sitting in
businessmen.
chairs.
Yep. That was why
Really?
volleyball was created.
Yeah, they started off in chairs because they were lazy. They didn't want to have to move. And that's how volleyball was created.
Bingo.
So here we are, 3 lazy dudes.
Good man. One slipping out of his chair.
So yeah, it started volleyball. It was super. I mean, in the 80s.
Started beach volleyball, too.
Started beach volleyball. Where? Show some respect, boys. Where did beach volleyball start?
Outrigger.
On the shores of
Igapono.
So yeah, we started the damn sport. Not we, sorry.
We started all the damn sports.
USA started the damn sport. That's pretty special. Okay, so then for sure USA's in there. We take a big hit that we don't have a professional league.
Huge hit. That's a huge hit.
A huge hit. But I mean,
Isn't that crazy?
The women's
We started the
women's
sport-
professional league is coming.
Winter is coming.
Dude, and also all the money I hear, everybody
Shout
invested
out
in
KD.
the way they're going about it, I think,
It's going to be
is-
sustainable.
yeah.
It's not
'Cause
just dump a bunch of money and see
club
if it happens.
volleyball,
Yeah.
Clubs
It's
make
huge.
so much money.
It's huge.
And they're going to be
So,
able to
it's coming.
tie in sponsors into it. Yeah.
Joe.
And on the
top.
women's side, yeah, they're legit.
That's a good list, Micah.
On the beach side too, yeah. Beach in Brazil too, yeah. I don't know if Italy's number 1. Those are my top 3 in no order. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So you stole a lot of mine.
Wow, dude,
obviously.
you stole some
I don't
of mine,
think. Well, it's hard to go outside of that.
No one's
a lot
gonna
of
get my
those,
third one
because it's number 1 for me. Though is Brazil. Culture. Just how popular the actual athletes are in the country of Brazil. I think is
That's
incredible.
a really good point.
It's such a crazy market there for volleyball. Like I'm just seeing all the time. Bruno's hanging out with Neymar and all these people. They're on the same level in Brazil. You don't like in volleyball in any other country. You definitely don't see volleyball players in the U.S. hanging out with LeBron James and
We hang out with
Tom
Richard
Brady and
Jefferson,
stuff like
bro.
that. Like they're not hanging out with like those type of.
Shout out RJ.
Yeah, in Brazil, like that's the standard. It's like the top athletes are hanging out with the volleyball players, which is insane to me. But even just the rich history, like you said, what's crazy I think is also the that era of Brazil volleyball. The U.S. beat them, which is crazy. The U.S. team that was able to beat them in the gold medal final, and whooped them. They didn't just beat them; they smacked them. And so Brazil's number 1 for me. Number 2, I was gonna go. I just flipped your 1 and 2. Italy. I think Italian volleyball has just such a rich history, and it's really difficult to surpass that. I was just I forgot who I was talking to the other day. You just look at the top leagues in the world and how they're able to use those leagues just to foster their national team. They're the top national teams too. The top leagues are the top national teams right now in the world on the men's side, more so, obviously, because the women, with our team being number one, we don't have a pro league. But on the men's side, it's like they really use their leagues to kind of foster. They bring all the best athletes and their youth. Like Trentino just signed U20 libero as their starting libero. So I have them. And then I just want to throw in a little bit of a mixture. Obviously, it's easy to say U.S. or somebody. I'm going to throw in somebody different here. I'm going to throw and it's kind of just out there and random.
You could use them as an honorable mention if you want.
No,
Maybe.
stick to your guns,
I want
Joe.
to throw Japan out there, though.
Ooh.
As a volleyball country, because that also, I'm just talking about marketable. Like, it is crazy there, the volleyball players.
It is
on the
going
men's and
nuts.
the league, there's so much money in the league there. And just their love for volleyball. I think it's a really incredible country. And they've been like that for a while. And just what they've developed and what they've brought to the sport of volleyball, I think, has been super
Those
cool.
players are actually, I think, the biggest superstars of any national team.
Yeah. No, for sure.
I think.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Brazil maybe is right behind.
I think
them, besides
maybe
that.
the only other exception would be Maruf in Iran. But
Yeah.
that's an individual.
Yeah.
But, like, Nishida, Takahashi,
Yeah.
Ishikawa, those guys are huge.
And I'll throw, just because the United States doesn't have a pro league, they're going to be my honorable mention.
Ooh.
Because until they get that pro league, obviously they've done so much for the sport and have
That's
incredible
fair.
history.
That's really fair.
But until that happens,
There's no high level volleyball.
it's not marketable at this point
Okay.
in the country. So
Alrighty. With that being said, Mike, can you see me still?
Yeah, I can
See
see
my
those
hand?
glasses.
Thank you, brother. Alrighty. Here are my top 3 volleyball countries in the world. I'm gonna start off with an honorable mention. My honorable mention is gonna throw a little wrench, a little something in here. Is the Philippines? The
Yeah,
Philippines
bro.
have the
Yes, dude. Hit
sassiest-
it, bro.
The sassiest and the most intense volleyball clips I've ever seen in my life, and they are diehard fans, and they have a pro league. And when you're there, shout out to Kalei Mao. She's there. She's a princess. Regardless, she's a princess wherever she goes. But in Philippines, she is truly a princess, and they support Hawaii thick and thin. Mad love the Philippines. Number 3,
Dude, for
my
sure.
lord.
I was thinking of them too. I was thinking
Yep.
of the Philippines for sure.
Yep.
Those fans
Small
are
but mighty.
crazy. And
Oh, yeah,
Iran
100%.
for the same reason. Those people, they love their volleyball.
They do love their volleyball. Number 3, I'm going to go with Joe in the V League. Those people, I've seen their high schools. I've seen how they work their players. Everybody has the platform of a god and goddess there. They're like an army when they walking around and they have the same drills and the same thing. It's unbelievable. I could look at these guys and be like, these guys can be a libero anywhere in the United States they ever wanted to. Very, very impressive. Number 2.
Wait,
my
who's number
lord.
3?
Japan.
Okay.
Number 2, Brazil, because I hear that the Jiba mixtape from when I was a child, and Joe would play on and on and on and on. And
Everybody
guess what?
knows
Brazil
that
is just
song.
sick. Exactly. And they always show, and they have the heart, and they're the soul of the South American volleyball, which means they have the soul of the Latinos within them. And I believe they are number 2. Number 1, God bless America. Number 1, they invented the sport of volleyball. They invented beach volleyball. The 6-man is lit. It's a legendary event. They have the most legendary tournament to the whole nation, and they have some of the best
That's
volleyball
fair.
players that
That's fair.
ever live. And people come, and do they have 4-man? South Beach, Hermosa, anywhere
Bay.
else? South Bay, thank you, Joe. South Bay, Hermosa? No, they do not. No, they do not. They don't have 6-man, no. And do they have Wapaka anywhere else? I don't think so. And Grass is on the rise. Shout out to Grass Volleyball. With that being said, we're going to wrap it up here, guys.
I got one thing. I throw this up my
Really quick, Joe.
quick question from Rob St. I chose one question from a group of them.
gonna
Rob
kill you.
St. Clair, what European volleyball player would be the gnarliest in grass triples? Everybody.
Oh, any Poland player. Kubiak. Not Kubiak. No, what's his name? Slivka.
Micah? I'm going Leon.
Easy, guys. Easy.
I think any of them, man. I think any of them. I truly do.
They can't.
I think
We'd beat him though.
I like our
team,
chances.
We'd beat him.
I like our chances.
I think Irvin would be pretty sick because he's played threes before because they play
yeah.
like
And he's so
beach
creative.
threes. And he's just so creative. I think that'd be pretty insane to watch him play.
That's true.
You could pick a big beast and you'd never be able to stop him. But
To Leon on the grass.
But yeah, you take just a big beast, and it's over. But in terms of like style and like creativity, I think Irvin.
With that being said, always a pleasure hopping on with you boys. Running out of time here. Sorry about that. Cut it short. Just remember, if you can't hear the Heat Goddamn Kitchen, then it's been another episode presented by Hit It, Joe.
Dr. Price's Electrolytes.